related to this, I've talked with you. You know, education is one of my hot topics, and you understand. You've talked about block granting, specifically Race to the Top. Race to the Top brought in education funds from the stimulus package, where the Department of Education, without the consent of Congress, basically entice states to adopt Common Core state standards in order to become eligible for these grants.
Yeah, I oppose Race to the Top. I oppose
Okay.
the federal government intervening in the provision of education. The, you know, I always ask when I'm in a town hall meeting, I don't always ask, but I've been asking more recently, how many of you parents are only concerned about, in school, about your child's academic achievement? Raise your hand. Nobody ever raises their hand. Of course they're concerned about more than that. They're concerned about their growth in virtue and character. They're concerned about their physical growth and health. You know, they're concerned about a lot more than their children than just, and of course, their spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we have a education system where is increasingly the dominant part of a child's life?
Yeah.
It's the biggest chunk of time out of a kid's day by far.
Yeah.
Why do we have that limited to only one thing that somebody in Washington, D.C. thinks your child should learn? Or should we have an education system that is focused on what the parents want their children to learn? Okay, a system that is focused on the customer of the education system, which is the parent.
Mm-hmm.
The parent's the customer of the education system. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's the parent's responsibility to educate their
Yes.
children. And therefore the government's role should be to help the parent provide what is best for the child.
But how would that happen at the federal level, or should it even happen?
It shouldn't happen at the federal
Okay.
level. The federal should get out of the way.
Okay.
And it goes back to, again, what's the President of the United States' role is? Well, you have certain things that the federal government's supposed to do, and you better do them well. Okay, you defend this country, you have a criminal justice system that makes sense, you have anti-terror programs here in this country, for example, you have border control, you have some basic federal programs that, you know, that help make sure that the economy runs as smoothly as possible in interstate commerce. And then you have a president who understands that a lot of the social welfare programs need to go back to the states. Education needs to get back to the states and further down into the local level. And you talk about it, and you hold all sorts of forums, and you create an atmosphere where the real reform of the education system, not rearranging the decks on the Titanic, but a real reform of the education system that has parents at the center of it, children as the object, or I guess using my sentence structure, the indirect object, and that maybe the school district is the direct object. I don't know. One of those. I'm trying to figure out how that all works. But the point is, the schools and parents should work together for the purposes of making sure that the child is in the best possible environment to meet all of their needs that the parents are concerned about. And that if the parents are concerned about, I believe my child needs more spiritual growth, more moral formation, then there should be options available that the school district says, you know what, if that's what the parent really wants for their child, then they've paid their money into the till, and allow them the opportunity to be able to use that money for the purposes of what best suits them and their children. Not to say we'll pay for everything, but we can help and support their activities.
Okay, so President Santorum, you come into the Oval Office. Are you going to initially, repeal Race to the Top, or because this is all done via executive order?
Yeah, we'll have a long laundry list of executive orders that will be repealed.
And give waivers to states.
And that will be one. Look, we're going to repeal all sorts of regulations that require the federal government, that inject the federal government into the area of education. I just think it's wrong-headed. And I'm amused with the idea, not on primary and secondary, but on higher education, that will tie higher education dollars to the new, I don't know what we'll call it. Well, let me see. We'll call it. It's not Title IX. Nine's an overused number these days. My favorite number is 7. Maybe we'll call it Title VII, which is, or maybe we should make it an even number. Title II, and saying that there should be an equal number conservative professors teaching our kids in colleges and universities who receive federal funds as liberal, and that we have organizations that are certifying organizations, just like we have certifying organizations that accredit a college. We're going to have certain organizations that will accredit conservative professors. That if you are to be eligible for federal funds, you have to provide an equal number of conservative professors as our liberal professors. So we have some balance when our children come to school and are not in the process of being indoctrinated by the academy, which is exactly what they are right now. And if we do not fight this battle of government control of education in primary and secondary, and the left's control of education in post-secondary, then we are not going to have a country that's going to be free, because we have a country that will be built and educated on a model of socialism, on a model that approves and condones and encourages government control of your